The last class we had discussed about third party risk management. Okay. And I hope people have understood the topics which we covered yesterday. So, okay, let me ask. Hi, Surya. Hi, Suraj. Hi, Sajid. Okay, can
Hi, sir.
anyone of you three, yeah, can anyone of you three tell me what third party risk management is? Okay, no problem.
Sir, third party management is basically first party's work doing by second party, and third parties hire from first party, which is monitor and identify the some activities from the second party.
No, 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 Sajid. I think that see, third party risk management is you have to make sure that your data which you are sending to your vendor, like you are hiring some vendor to do some work for you. Okay, you are outsourcing some of your work. So when you hire those kind of vendors, you'll be definitely sending some confidential data to them. And in order to make sure that that data which you are sending is secured, you will conduct a review on those vendors and third parties. That reviews can be either like intrusive, non-intrusive, pen test or anything, or non-intrusive like security assessment, risk analysis, all those things. That is vendor assessment. Okay. So
Okay,
yeah,
sir.
again, I cannot emphasize enough on it. Okay. Just try to learn third party risk management. It can be really helpful. Many job openings will be there relating to TPRM, and it's a good field to be in. You'll get a lot to learn in a short span of time, because you'll be seeing security architecture and security posture of lot of companies, so you'll get to learn a lot. Okay. Now today we'll be covering some remaining topics in cyber security which are asked in the interviews. After today's class, the next class which we'll have will be about cloud computing. Two classes on cloud computing, and then one class on this thing, resume building, and one class on mock interviews. Okay, and that is how we'll close out the course. Okay, so all the like next class this week, we just this is the last class for this week. After this class you'll have a session on Saturday with Yash. He'll be guiding you through the resume building and uh, like how to prepare for interview. Okay. Okay, so let's get started with the remaining topics. Okay. So, can anyone tell me what business continuity is, and how is it related to cybersecurity? Anyone? No one?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like data should be available at any time.
Yes. So that's a like short and correct answer. Data. So when we talk about cybersecurity, we talk about the three triads, right? Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Okay. The availability aspect. Okay, to fulfill that, we need to have this business continuity process in place. Okay, business continuity planning or business continuity like policies and BCDR, what is called business continuity and disaster recovery, should policies and procedures should be there in place in all the companies. Okay, so let's take an example of this corona pandemic. Okay, companies who are working full time from office, they had to quickly, like in a matter of week, they had to move to work from home model, right? Okay. So how was that possible? How did that happen? Like, were they expecting something like that? No, but they had this business continuity planning document, okay, which like all of the big companies generally do have. So they have, like, what they do is they have they have a plan A and a plan B. The plan A is being in office and working. Plan B is what if the office loses power, what if the office is attacked by some terrorist, or what if the as office building falls down due to this thing earthquake. Okay, what do we do in that case? So in that case, they always have a plan B, like people can work from home or they can work from an alternate location. So that plan B is considered as part of business continuity planning. Okay, so whenever a company is providing some service, they'll always have an alternate way to provide that service. Okay, so suppose you are using AWS to store your data. Okay, so what if the data stored in AWS is deleted by mistake? So you will have backup for that, right? So anyway, like AWS also will have 2 to 3 copies of, by default AWS creates 3 copies of each data which is it is storing. Okay, that's all part of business continuity. What if one set of data is deleted? You can recover it from the other set, or you can use the other set of data which is stored in other S3 bucket or another availability zone in AWS to actually go ahead with doing usual business, to like go ahead with business as usual. Okay, so that is why we do business continuity, because you need to have a plan B. That's it. Like you cannot be 100% certain that like you can provide this service from a single location or or a single this thing a single provider. That's why you and like you need to keep on your business going, and to avoid losses, you need to have business continuity management in place. Okay, so that will make sure that your business keeps on going as usual. BAU is followed, business as usual. There is no data loss. The availability of your systems is there. Whenever someone requires your service, it should be there. Okay, so that's business continuity, uh, and why it is required. It's really necessary to have business continuity planning and policies in place in each of the companies. When you are implementing a security framework, okay, this business continuity management, it comes as a part of ISO 27001 and other frameworks also. So it is a very critical part of this thing critical part of security framework. Okay, you need to have business continuity management in place. So what business continuity steps can you take? Like have I'll take 5 examples. Okay, having redundant internet connection. Okay, so your office has a fiber cable, but from Geo. Okay, but what if Geo goes down? You cannot have like you cannot have like uh, you cannot tolerate that, like right, you cannot not have internet at your place. So you need to have a redundant internet connection. So you will have take a connection from Airtel as well. Okay, many of these companies, okay, like not the companies actually, many of the companies, let's take example of companies, when they have electricity providers. Okay, it doesn't happen in India, but abroad. Okay, they have connection from 2 electricity providers. We are not talking about UPS or power backups, okay, DG generators. We're talking about 2 redundant suppliers. Okay, like in Bangalore we have Bescom. Okay, there will be Bescom and there will be a private provider at Adani or Reliance or someone as well. So they'll have 2 separate connections. Okay, to provide them electricity as well. If electricity is down from one of the providers, it can be taken from some other provider as well. So that is also a part of business continuity only. Let's say if their data center goes down, they have other, like one more data center, the active site and passive site, the cold site and warm site. It's called warm site is like the one which you're using currently to back up your stuff and host, so provide hosting services. And one is the cold site, which is like there when and if needed, it can be used to provide you service. So that's a cold site. Warm site and cold sites are 2 kinds of data centers which are used in business continuity. Okay, all right. So remember that. So that we covered categories. Other things which can be in place is like, uh, let's say for same function. Okay, you have 2 to 3 resources to do the same thing. If someone employee suddenly absconds or falls sick, there should be some backup for him, right? So that is also a part of business continuity. So resource availability is also a part of business continuity. There would be 2 to 3 people doing the same thing. If someone falls sick or something happens, the other can take over. That is also a part of it.
So it
Other,
means we should. Sorry.
go
It
ahead, go ahead.
means it means we should have backup for everything so that our business will not get hampered, right?
Yeah. Not only backup. Backup is one aspect. Okay. Backup as a term, like backup you should see in
Means
IT
same thing
terms.
as compared to that, no?
Yeah, correct. Redundancy should be there.
Okay.
Okay, it's not required to have, but it should have. It should be there because what happens? What will happen if the main plan that we have fails? Okay, we need to have a backup plan so that we
Plan
can
B.
plan B, so that we can secure our uh, uh, business, so that availability of data and other resources are there. Correct.
Yes.
Okay, so that is business continuity and disaster, and the importance of it. You might be like the people can definitely ask you what is business continuity management. Okay, and they'll definitely ask it because this is a favorite topic among auditors and all this people who do cybersecurity and auditing. Okay, okay. Let's say, so this is like business continuity, data replication, redundancy, failover. We discussed failover is the process of switch over from the primary equipment to the secondary equipment. We discussed this, right? Like suppose one of your network switches fails. Okay, you should be in a position to divert the traffic to other routers and to switches. If some equipment failed, you should be in a position to divert the traffic from other equipment. So that is a failover. Redundancy is having multiple paths to the same system. We discussed on the redundancy part, having redundant power supply or having redundant internet connection. Data replication is the backup. Okay, you should have multiple data sets of sets of the same data. So you have like AWS provides 3 sets of the same data. Whenever you are making a copy of your data in AWS, it will save it at 3 different locations, so that if one goes down, you can recover the same from the other 2. Okay, and for disaster recovery plan is like the policy which is there. CIA, we discussed CIA. Okay, now BCDR, planning life cycle. Okay, yeah, so start with policies and standards from the organization risk management. Like, yeah, you need to have a policy first. Okay, you need to have the roles and responsibilities set, like what will happen in this case, who will take care of the process, what are the responsibility of this team, what is the responsibility of that team, who will be taking care of business when something happens here. All those things need to be in place. Okay, start with the policies and standards from the organization risk management policies. Okay, make a policy, have the roles and responsibilities defined. Okay, then develop the business continuity plan. What you need to do, what is your plan B? You need to develop that. Okay, then develop the disaster recovery plan. Okay, now people might ask you, what is the difference between business continuity and disaster recovery? Okay, so business continuity and disaster recovery, more or less, they are the same thing. However, business continuity can be it can be like disruption. In the disruption can be anything, and in disaster recovery is like once the disaster has happened, there should be a plan to get back to business as usual from that. Okay, so that's disaster recovery. More or less, these are similar terms. However, disaster recovery plan is like getting back to business from disasters. Business continuity is like your business would not be affected at all. Okay, so this is like business continuity when your business is not at all affected. Disaster recovery is when it is affected, but you want to get back from it. So that's disaster recovery plan. Okay, so both these things need to be there in place. Okay, so business continuity is when people switched from office to work from home model, because that was business continuity. Okay, if some company got hit by a tornado, their building was severely damaged. Okay, so they should have a business continuity plan also and a disaster recovery plan also. A business continuity plan in order to conduct their business as usual, disaster recovery plan to get back their office and get things running again to get back to normal, right? Okay. Then implement the necessary changes to support the goals of the plan. That's like normal. You have to implement changes and test the plan. You need to test whatever you have designed, whatever plans you have put in place. You need to test it. So testing can be either full hard-blown functional testing, and one can be a tabletop testing. So functional testing is you actually bring your systems down and test, okay, what the effect will be. Like you will actually bring down your one of the electricity, you bring down your internet connection and you see what the effect is on the company's business, okay. Or so you do a functional testing, so you try to like see what effect, how it will affect the company's business, okay. So you need to test the plan. One is like the full functional testing, one is the tabletop is like 5 6 people will sit in a group, they'll just discuss what can happen, what we need to do, like that's a virtual testing. You'll just implement, you'll do that based on the policies and plans in place, okay. And then it's the maintenance of the plan, the sixth part, where you talk about like how to this thing, you need to approve and have this plan or working all the time, and need to like revise it and update it on an yearly basis. So that's BCTR, okay. uh, so okay. So yeah, planning phase will be roles and responsibility, resource availability, business recovery objectives, all those. Okay. Two terms that they might ask, three terms actually, is a business impact analysis, BIA. When we talk about business recovery, BCP, they talk about business impact analysis. So that's an impact analysis. Like we just like risk analysis, we'll be conducting a business impact analysis. What impact the disaster will have on our business. So that's a test which people sit in groups and have a meeting and try to try to assess the impact which will happen on the business in case of a disaster or crisis. Okay, so that's BIA, business impact analysis. Then they talk about RTO and RPO. Okay, recovery time objective and recovery program objective. Okay, let's see RTO and RPO. One very interesting fact: AWS provides 99.999999999 up to 11 nines of reliability. Okay, so you can expect their systems to be up by that much. However, the 0.0001% when it is down, it will cost their client millions of and billions of dollars. So you cannot expect AWS to be down to be for even for 2 or 3 minutes, because that it is that critical for their vendor, like for its clients. It's like most of the clients nowadays, they are moving to SaaS based operation models. Okay, they are hosting their entire application. They are not making this thing application which can be installed on computers. They are making SaaS based systems which is hosted in AWS. Yeah, Ankita.
So I read one post that day before 2 days, Facebook and WhatsApp were not working. So at that time they were stealing. Someone was stealing that data. That's why it was not working. It was mentioned over there. So was it something like that?
I don't think so. So the main thing, I don't know where you got your information from, but as far as I know, there was a CDN failure. Okay, their DNS, and there was some problem with their DNS, and it
Okay.
was an internal human error problem. Okay, it was not caused due to any attack or anything.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about RTO and RPO. Okay, I have pasted this link into the chat box. You can use that to learn more on this. Let's see what RTO and RPO is. Very important concepts, both of them. Okay. I want to not RTO, man. There are okay. So recovery time objective and recovery point objective. These two things you need to like know when you are facing interview. People will definitely ask this. Okay. So RTO. Okay. So whenever you are whenever like you are providing some service to a client, okay, the client will ask you what's your RTO and what's your RPO. So let's see what those terms are. Okay. So when an incident happens, suppose the incident happened here. Okay. And see, the incident happened here. Renew. Okay. So no, this is not correct diagram. Take this. Yes. No, you might get confused with this one as well. Simplest diagram I'm looking at. Yes. Okay. Okay. So suppose the incident happened, some interruption to the business happened here. Okay. Recovery time objective is like the time period, okay, when how long can you operate with our system, which services can last how long. Okay, so that's like RTO is like whenever an incident happened, okay, when can you get back on your feet, and how long can you operate without a system, like let's say my RTO is 4 hours, so I'll have all my systems up and running within 4 hours. That is what I am saying to my client. Okay, so that's RTO, recovery time objective. RPO is RPO is something like how far, like yeah. So suppose the incident happened here. Okay, what was your backup, like how far ago, from how far back can you fail to. Okay, so till this time you have your backup ready for. Okay, you have your backups for till here, till 1 week back. Okay, so even when the interruption happened, if the interruption caused some backup failure, you can tolerate a backup failure up to a week, because you have it like your RPO can go back to till that level. Okay, so that is RPO. Let's see some good definitions of RTO and RPO. Okay, so this RTO and RPOs can be asked in exams. Definitely they can be, like not exams or interviews. Okay. Okay. The recovery time objective is the amount of time in which, following an outage, a business process and its associated application must be restored in order to prevent a defined amount of impact. So, if there is an internet outage, okay, or let's say Facebook's disruption, which happened last week, so they would have a RTO in place. Okay, so Facebook would be saying, so if Facebook is down, it will be up within 4 hours or 5 hours or something, like maximum to maximum time, which which will they'll take to get it up. That's the RTO which they'll define. So recovery time objective. So you are telling that within 4 hours we'll have our systems, by any hook or crook, we'll have the systems up and running again. Okay, so that's RTO. They talk about RTO. Okay, so you got the definition, right? The recovery time objective is the amount of time in which, following an outage, a business process and its associated application must be restored. Okay, this time they'll, like you say 4 hours, my RTO is 4 hours, so you are telling them that within 4 hours all my systems will be up and running. Okay, that's RPO. The recovery point objective is somewhat tricky to understand. Okay, so RPO, the capability that RPO refers to has to do with the organization's ability to recreate lost data. Okay, so you are telling them like when an incident happened, I have the ability to recover at least 1 week of data prior to the incident. So I am telling that I can recover up to 1 week of data Okay, so most of the companies nowadays they do backups in real time. Okay, the syncing and backups keep happening in real time. So they'll say their RPO is a minute or a second or like real time. They'll say because if there is an incident, they have the ability to restore data up to a second, like up to a minute or a second back. Okay, so that's RPO. All right. You can learn about, let me share this as well with you guys. And yeah, try to learn these concepts because this will be really useful when you are facing the interviews. Okay. However, like, yeah, when you are like going for interviews, okay, we'll make sure that you know all this. Okay. Don't worry. Okay. So after business continuity, we will talk about incident management. Okay. So just like I think our first assignment was to do with managing ransomware incident, what to do in case of ransomware, right? So the first step that everyone suggested was isolate the system, remove the plug from the computer which is affected, right? So that we will be doing all those as part of our incident management process. So incident management is required in order to limit the loss which we will be suffering from a breach. Okay, so suppose god forbid, suppose your company suffers a breach. Okay, then your company will invoke a incident management process. Okay, the cert, each company has a cert team. Okay, cyber incident response and that team. Okay, all this company, every company has it. Okay? In case some incident happens, that will be the team which will come in action and try to gather evidence, collect all the data. They'll they'll proceed with whatever is required to mitigate the incident. Okay, so all companies have this team in place, like all big ones at least. Okay, so let's see. And generally whenever there is a like a breach, you have to follow this process only in order to preserve the evidence, in order to, like, if you have to do forensics on the breach, you need to preserve the evidence according to the incident management program only. Okay. Okay. So the steps involved in incident management is yeah, the preparation phase. Okay, what, like, you always have a plan, right? So that's the you need to have policy for, even before you are breached, you need to have policy, right, for incident management. That's the first preparation phase. You need to have policy. You need to have the roles and responsibilities of your CERT team defined. Like, they'll know that who will handle what, who will communicate the breach to the client, who will communicate the breach to the employees, and stuff like that. Okay, so everything should be there. Next, coming on to the next is, so once preparation has happened, you'll come to a detection phase. Okay, you identify the potential security incidents. Okay, after detection of the incident is done, you contaminate it. Okay, so in case of ransomware, you detect. Okay, let's take example of ransomware. Okay, preparation from this phase only, preparation. So you have your ransomware. Many companies nowadays have a separate plan to deal with ransomware, so that they have a preparation done for ransomware. Okay, and as part of one interesting concept nowadays is cyber insurance. Like, most of the companies are going for $10 million cyber insurance. So in case they are breached, so the company which have they have taken insurance from, they'll provide them $10 million. So that's a really, like, every company nowadays is getting this cyber insurance done. Okay, so okay, once you have ascertained that it was a ransomware, the detection phase, you move to the containment, mitigation, and recovery phase. Okay, so for in ransomware cases, you just remove, pull the plug from that system, and you remove it from the network. Then you try to mitigate, like, you try to get your backup systems separated from the a system which is affected by ransomware. Then you try to recover as much data as possible. So after all this happens, then you prepare for future that you do not suffer like that again in life. And then communication, how you communicate the incident to your employees, to your stakeholders, and to all your customers. Okay, so that is incident management. They might ask it, they might not, but yeah, just remember what incident management is. Okay. Okay, all right. After incident management, we spoke about business continuity, we spoke about incident management. Now we'll be talking about, let's talk about, one second, not this. No one is asking any questions today. Like it's been silent since last 2, 3 classes. People are not understanding a word. Okay. No problem. I'll suggest it might be like these concepts are new to you and it might be alien things. However, if you feel the need to ask questions, please do feel free to ask them in the WhatsApp group or in the portal as well. In Sharpness portal, there is a section where you can ask your questions. Like so, we can go ahead. You can go ahead and ask those questions there. Okay. Uh, Next thing we have to discuss today, security, IoT security. We won't be discussing that because no one asks that in the interview. I had some, yeah. So if you see most of the things which we are covering today, okay, these were the remainder topics from this ISO 27001 framework. Okay, it talks about incident management, it talks about business continuity management. Okay, it also talks about this thing. It does not talk about privacy, but privacy is another important concept which we like need to know. So earlier today, I had shared a link which had like which had things to explain about difference between data security and no sorry what was that? Yeah, security and privacy. Okay, so what is the difference between security and privacy? Anyone? Come on, guys, someone please.
So data security is protecting data,
Okay, Kuldeep.
and data in next is
Privacy.
data privacy is confidentiality of data that no one can see without the permission.
So, okay. Do
It's like
are those two different terms or are they similar? Come on. This is a very basic question which I think anyone can ask you, right? What is the difference between security and privacy?
if there is security, then only privacy comes. I think so.
What? Bit louder.
First of all, security need to be in place to the
Okay.
data. If the data should be in privacy,
Are they two mutually exclusive things?
yes,
Okay, correct. How are they different?
Privacy,
Yeah.
So in
yes,
first class you said our CIA, if it confidentiality, integrity, and authentication.
Availability. Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
that is what.
sir, privacy is basically that our personal information that we can control it, and this personal information that means security means that this personal information we can protect it.
Okay. So I think you guys have vague idea, okay? But let me show the difference between security and privacy using a diagram that will like clear your concepts to a whole new level, okay? Okay. So here, this is like they might intersect somewhere. Okay, protection of personal information is like you need to secure your personal information, and protection is like where they intersect. Apart from that, they are totally like different things. Okay, all the companies have a separate privacy team and a separate security team. Okay, they all come under infosec only. However, there is a separate privacy team and separate security team. Security has to do with maintaining confidentiality, integrity, and availability of any kind of data. It's not only like related to personal data or anything. Okay, it can be securing confidentiality, integrity, and availability of all and every kind of data. Okay, it can be client data, it can be confidential work data. However, in privacy, this shrinks to securing only, not securing, like maintaining privacy of only PII and health information and all those things. Okay, so and how we process the data which we are collecting from our customers or visitors to website, because that's like privacy. There is a more better diagram. There is a better diagram to. Uh, okay, so let's take an example of a boat. Okay, in the middle of sea. Okay, there is no one around. So tell me, is it secure? Anyone? So there is a boat in the middle of sea. You are sitting in the boat. Is it secure?
No.
No. Okay. Why is it not secure? Because there might be a wave coming or a shark attack or anything, right?
Yeah,
There
correct.
is no security for him. However, does he have privacy?
Yes.
Yes, correct.
Yes. Yeah.
So you see here the difference, like sec- someone times they can have security, but they cannot have privacy, or vice versa. Like let's take another example. Uh, you are in a prison cell. Okay, no, not prison cell. Okay, you are walking in the airport with 10 guards around you. Okay, now here you have all the security in the world. However, is your privacy there? No, right? It's a public place. Everyone is seeing you, everyone is observing you, so you are not private there, right? So you see, there you have all the security, but in airport anyways, like it's a secure place. You have so many uh, uh, policemen and guards to like protect that place, so that place is secure. However, it's there is no privacy there, right? So you see how these terms differ: privacy versus security. Got it,
Yes, sir.
everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So see, you see here how it is differing. Like if you say privacy and security, at times they might be like, at times they might go hand in hand. Like, but most of the times, like they are a different term. Okay, you might be secure, however, you might not be. Your privacy be at risk. However, when at times when you are considering privacy, you might not be secure. Okay. So yes, that's the difference between privacy and security. You need to keep that in mind. Okay. All right. So when we talk about privacy, okay, uh, whenever you go to a site, okay, all this site nowadays have this privacy policy which appears when you log in, when you go to a website. Why are they doing that? Why are they telling you what like cookie policy or their privacy policy, or they want you to accept their privacy policy? Why are they doing that? Anyone? They are doing it to comply with GDPR requirements. Okay, so GDPR requirements has like wants each and every company who is collecting data from website visitors to let them know that they're collecting data from you. Okay, So earlier what used to happen, all this Facebook and now also it happens, but they need to like tell you that they are collecting data. But earlier they weren't even telling us. They were collecting our geolocation data. They were collecting cookie information from our phones and laptops on what we are browsing. And so you would have seen targeted ads, like you are searching something for something on Flipkart, and that ad starts appearing on your Chrome browser, or in your, like wherever you're opening, you're playing games, you're seeing that same ad, right? That's targeted advertisement. They are doing that by using your cookies. They are collecting your cookies, and they are targeting, like they are targeting your preference. They are whatever preference, they are collecting data on it, and they are trying to like market that data. They are trying using that data to like sell you things, right? That's immoral thing, and GDPR has made sure that this even if this is happening, it has to happen with your consent, the person consent whose data is being collected. So all the companies need to make sure that they are taking consent of people on whom they are collecting data. Okay, so and people in GDPR, they have rights to be forgotten. Like if they want their data to be deleted, they have the right. They have the right to like ask for their data. They have to right to know what data do a company have on them. Okay, so if they want, they can ask Facebook and to give all the data that Facebook has collected on them. Okay, so all that comes as part of GDPR and privacy. All right. Okay. So that was with respect to all this. Okay. I think, guy, I don't have anything else for today, guys. This was the topic I wanted to cover. Okay. And from next lecture, like 2 lectures, we'll be discussing things on cloud computing and securing the cloud. And the last lecture will be, we'll be taking like a, we'll see some quizzes and some interview questions and all those things. Okay. All right. So we'll be closing this session for today here. Okay. Question session, doubt session.